Okay, this is the back half now. We've made it to the back half already. We went really
fast.
fast.
Sure.
Lowcountry Money Talk. It really does fly, but we got lots to talk about and we have a lot of questions. So this is the hard-hitting journalism that I promised you here. We're just gonna kind of fly through some of these things because lots on people's minds. So let's talk a little bit about, retirement savings to start.
Sure.
I know a lot of people have this question. Is it invested appropriately based on your stage of life and your current economic challenges? How do we know that?
Well, if you're having a little heartburn now,
Yeah.
and you're worried about where your income's going to come from your retirement savings, maybe not.
Right.
What I have found, Jessa, over the past 12 to 13 years, we had this huge bull market surge. And so, as a normal person, we forget. We have a short memory. So I found that many people have become overly aggressive with their savings because, you get into that thing, it's never going to go down or this and that. So now we're having a little bit of heartburn, we're having a lot of volatility in the market, and it can cause major stress for retirees because, hey, we don't have any more income coming in.
Right.
So if you're having a lot of stress because of market conditions and things, maybe you're not invested appropriately, so we need to take a look at that.
Yeah, well, that's a good barometer. How much stress are you under financially? Maybe we've got to make some adjustments. Okay, let's talk a little bit about sources of retirement income.
Sure.
We discussed this briefly for retirees in the last segment, but let's talk about it more. How could they be impacted during a recession?
Okay, so let's say we have several income buckets. The better, the more the better.
Yeah.
We don't want too many holes in our buckets.
Right.
Probably none would be preferable, but old rusty buckets get holes. So let's say we have a Social Security bucket. I think we got a pay raise on Social Security this year. I'm not sure if it was 5 or 7%, so don't hold me to that, but it wasn't 8.5 or 9.
Yeah.
So even though we got a raise on Social Security, it didn't beat inflation. So we're still getting eaten away a little bit there. But one, we do have a Social Security bucket maybe. So we have income coming from that. Maybe we have a pension. So if I retired from the government or I have some kind of what I would call the old dinosaur pensions where you get a fixed amount each month, okay, maybe I have something there. That's another bucket.
They don't do those anymore, not a lot.
Not unless you're a government employee or something like that usually, but maybe I have that. It may not have an inflationary factor, so that's going to be worth about 8.5% or more or less, depending on how many eggs and meat you eat. Right?
It's a good time to be a vegan.
Right. Well, that's right. They don't have eat eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the Social Security bucket. We've got the defined benefit bucket, which is the monthly income. Now maybe we have a bucket where we just keep money in the bank, emergency funds. Maybe that bucket's gotten a little bit too much in it.
Yeah.
So the inflation is going to eat that bucket alive.
Right. Yeah, it is.
So if I have $100,000 in that bucket and I'm getting like nothing return on that,
Yeah, that was good.
by the end of the year at an 8.5% inflation, that's worth a little over $92,000.
Right.
So I lost $8,000. I didn't do anything.
Right.
See, that's inflation. That's how it eats you alive. So that could be a bucket. Then we have our investment bucket. And if we're all in growth equities and all this kind of stuff, that bucket is down, market average 12 to 15% or so, 12 to 20%, something like that. So that one, so if I can do something with the one bucket that's in the bank and maybe I have too much in there or something, I probably need to start getting some return on that.
Right.
That would help a bit.
Right.
This bucket is depressed because the market's down. I would prefer not to fool with that bucket much. So it depends on how your buckets are.
It's very individual.
It's your bucket list.
I actually am making notes. I have drawn 4 buckets with some notes here. But the point being, you really need to take a look at everybody's individual situation.
Right.
What you have in these different buckets and where to pull from. So if that's you and you're thinking maybe you want to get that taken a look at, you really do. It's great to have professional advice. Rachel over at the the office there can help you with that. If you want to get a portfolio analysis and a risk assessment, just get started and see where you are.
Right.
That might be a good thing to do.
Always good to see where you're at.
We got plenty more questions to get through in one more segment, so we hope you'll stick with us. We've got Phil who's going to answer them after the break.